Mexico is one of the most visited countries on Earth. For millions of travelers, it means beaches, ancient ruins, food, music, history, and cities full of life. But Mexico is not one single story. The country is enormous. Conditions can change dramatically from one state to another, from one road to another, and sometimes even from one neighborhood to the next. Some areas are visited safely by tourists every day. Others carry serious risks, not because every street is dangerous, not because every visitor is a target, but because geography, organized crime, highways, ports, border crossings, isolated roads, and weak security conditions can create places where a normal trip can become risky very fast. This video is not about fear. It is not about showing violence, and it is not about judging the people who live there. It is about understanding the geography of risk. Today, we're looking at 5 Mexican states where travel can be dangerous, and why some places require much more caution than a beautiful photo or a famous name might suggest. This is the dark side of geography. Number 5. Colima. Colima is one of the smallest states in Mexico. On a map, it does not look like a place that could become one of the most dangerous regions in the country. It is coastal, it has mountains, it has beaches, it has the port city of Manzanillo, one of the most important ports on Mexico's Pacific coast. And that is part of the problem. Sometimes, danger is not created by size, it is created by location. Colima sits in a strategically important position. Its coastline and port infrastructure make it valuable for legal trade, tourism, and business, but also for criminal competition over routes, territory, and influence. The result is a state where violence can be highly concentrated, but still serious enough to affect ordinary life. For travelers, the risk is not always obvious. A coastal road may look peaceful. A hotel zone may feel separated from the wider security situation. A port city may look busy, normal, and controlled. But official warnings highlight risks such as crime, kidnapping, and shootings between criminal groups that can injure or kill bystanders. That last word matters: bystanders. In places like this, the danger is often not that tourists are being specifically hunted. The danger is that violence between other groups can spill into public spaces, roads, businesses, or areas where regular people happen to be. Colima shows how a small state can carry a much larger level of risk than its size suggests. It also shows why travel safety is not only about whether a place looks beautiful. It is about what sits behind the landscape: the port, the highways, the routes, the competition for control. And when those things collide, even a small state can become a dangerous place to move through carelessly. But Colima is only the beginning, because the next state is not small, and it is not unknown. It contains places that many travelers have heard of, and that is exactly what makes the danger more complicated. Number 4. Guerrero. Guerrero is a state of dramatic contrasts. It has mountains, Pacific coastline, historic towns, and some of the most famous travel names in Mexico: Acapulco, Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Taxco. For decades, these names were connected with tourism, beaches, nightlife, and postcard images of Mexico's Pacific coast. But today, Guerrero is also one of the states where travel warnings are most severe. The risk here is not limited to one type of place. It is not just a beach problem. It is not just a city problem. It is not just a remote road problem. Guerrero's geography makes security difficult. Mountain roads, isolated communities, coastal routes, rural zones, and urban areas can all exist within the same state, but with very different levels of control and safety. In many areas, armed groups are active independently of the government. Roadblocks can appear. Travelers can face risks on highways and in places where official presence is limited. This is what makes Guerrero especially important to understand. A destination can be famous and still sit inside a high-risk state. A city can have hotels, restaurants, and beaches, while the roads outside it, or even parts of the wider urban area, carry very different risks. For travelers, one of the biggest mistakes is assuming that name recognition equals safety. Acapulco is famous, but fame does not remove risk. Taxco is beautiful, but beauty does not control the roads. Guerrero is not dangerous because it lacks culture or history. It is dangerous because different forces compete across complicated terrain, and travelers may not always know where the safer zones end and the riskier areas begin. That uncertainty is the danger. Because when you are far from home, the difference between one road and another can matter. The difference between daylight and night can matter. The difference between a guided route and an improvised route can matter. Guerrero reminds us that tourism and insecurity can exist side by side. But in the next state, the danger becomes even more layered, because it is tied not only to roads and cities, but to forests, farmland, ports, and entire industries. Number 3. Michoacán. Michoacán is one of Mexico's most culturally rich and visually beautiful states. It is known for colonial cities, mountains, lakes, forests, traditional communities, and natural wonders. Morelia is one of Mexico's great historic cities. The Monarch Butterfly Reserve is world famous. The state is also connected to major agricultural production, including avocados and limes, products that travel far beyond Mexico. But behind that beauty is a complicated security reality. Michoacán has long faced problems with organized crime, extortion, territorial disputes, and violence in rural and strategic areas. For travelers, this creates a difficult situation. Some places may look calm, some cities may still receive visitors, some highways may be used under specific restrictions. But outside selected routes and controlled areas, the risks can rise quickly. Michoacán's danger is partly geographical. It has mountains and forests where control can be fragmented. It has agricultural zones where criminal groups may try to profit from local economies. It has the port of El Zado Cárdenas, a major Pacific port with strategic importance. It also sits between other important regions of central and western Mexico, making certain roads and corridors more sensitive. This is not a place where a traveler should casually improvise. Driving into rural areas without local knowledge can be risky. Taking unknown roads can be risky. Assuming that a beautiful natural destination is automatically safe can be risky. And that is what makes Michoacán such a powerful example for this video. It is not a flat picture of danger. It is a layered map. Historic city, mountain road, agricultural corridor, port, forest, small town. Each layer can carry a different level of risk. That does not mean Michoacán is only a dangerous place. It is also a state with millions of normal people, deep culture, and incredible landscapes. But from a travel safety perspective, it is a state where the route matters, the time matters, the local situation matters, and the difference between a permitted area and a restricted area can be more important than most travelers realize. Michoacán shows how danger can hide behind landscapes that look peaceful, but the next state carries a different kind of weight, because its name is known around the world, and that reputation can make people think they understand it before they actually do. Number 2. Sinaloa. Few Mexican states have a name as internationally recognized as Sinaloa. For some people, the name immediately brings to mind organized crime. For others, it means coastlines, music, food, agriculture, baseball, and the port city of Mazatlán. And this is the challenge with Sinaloa. It is a real place, not just a headline. Millions of people live normal lives there. But it is also a state where travel can become dangerous very quickly, especially outside limited safer zones and controlled routes. Sinaloa's geography gives it strategic importance. It has coastline, it has ports, it has mountains, It has agricultural valleys. It has highways connecting the Pacific coast, the interior, and northern Mexico. Those routes matter, and when routes matter, criminal groups may compete for them. In recent years, Sinaloa has faced periods of serious violence linked to internal criminal conflict and security operations. In places like Culiacan, normal life has sometimes been disrupted by roadblocks, armed confrontations, and sudden waves of insecurity. For travelers, the problem is unpredictability. A city may look normal one day and tense the next. A highway may seem ordinary until it is not. A tourist area may be treated differently from the rest of the state, but that does not make the entire state safe. Mazatlan is a good example of this complexity. It is a famous coastal destination. People visit it. It has beaches, hotels, and a historic center. But travel warnings often distinguish between very specific permitted zones and the wider state around them. That means the danger is not always in the postcard. Sometimes it is just beyond it. Sinaloa is not a place to understand through stereotypes alone. It is not only crime. It is not only tourism. It is not only danger. It is a state where all of these realities can exist at the same time. And that is exactly why travelers need to be careful. Because the more famous a place is, the easier it is to assume it must be understood. But Sinaloa shows that reputation is not the same as safety. And while Sinaloa is one of the most recognizable names in this story, the final state is dangerous in a different way. Here, the geography of risk is shaped by the border, highways, kidnappings, and roads where movement itself can become the problem. Number 1. Tamaulipas. Tamaulipas sits along Mexico's northeastern border with the United States. It includes cities and crossings that many people know by name: Matamoros, Reynosa, Nuevo Laredo, Ciudad Victoria. On a map, Tamaulipas looks like a gateway. It connects Mexico to the United States. It connects highways, trade, border crossings, industry, and movement. But that same geography also creates danger. Border regions can be highly strategic. Roads can become valuable. Control over movement can become valuable. And when criminal groups fight over routes, the people using those routes can become exposed to serious risk. Tamaulipas is one of the clearest examples of why road travel can be dangerous in some parts of Mexico. The risk is not only being in a city, it is moving between cities. It is taking the wrong highway. It is driving at the wrong time. It is assuming that a border crossing or a road trip is routine because it looks simple on a map. Official warnings describe risks that include kidnapping, carjacking, armed robbery, extortion, and criminal activity along highways and border areas. One of the most disturbing risks is that criminal groups have targeted buses and cars traveling through the state. For a traveler, that changes everything, because when roads become part of the risk, even basic movement requires serious caution. Tamaulipas is not the kind of place where a visitor should casually rent a car and improvise a route through unfamiliar areas. It is not the kind of place where driving between cities after dark is a small mistake. In some areas, it can be the difference between a safe trip and a very dangerous one. And yet, like every state in this video, Tamaulipas is not only its crime. It is home to millions of people. It has industry, culture, border life, coastlines, cities, and families who live with a reality that outsiders often only see through warnings. That is why this story should not be told with excitement. It should be told with respect. Because behind every travel advisory are real communities trying to live normal lives in places where geography has made safety complicated. Tamaulipas is number 1, not because every inch of the state is equally dangerous, but because for travelers, the combination of border routes, organized crime, kidnapping risk, and highway insecurity can make movement especially risky. It is a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous part of a trip is not the destination. It is the road between destinations. Mexico is not a single danger zone. It is a huge, complex country with safe cities, world-famous destinations, welcoming communities, and millions of visitors every year. But it is also a country where security conditions can vary sharply by state, city, road, and even time of day. Colima shows how a small coastal state can become strategically important. Guerrero shows how famous tourist names can exist inside a wider high-risk region. Michoacán shows how forests, farms, ports, and roads can create layered danger. Sinaloa shows how reputation and reality can collide. And Tamaulipas shows how border geography and highways can turn movement itself into risk. The point is not to fear Mexico. The point is to understand it carefully. Before traveling anywhere, check current official guidance, local conditions, and trusted sources. Do not rely only on old memories, social media, or a beautiful photo. Because in places like these, the map matters, the route matters, the timing matters, and sometimes the most dangerous part of geography is believing that all places are the same. This is not travel inspiration. This is the dark side of geography.